Hey, welcome back. It is Truth Talk again with the Ravenflower, who was like not ready to even know or remember that it was Easter because I just don't do that. And so I'm just like, oh, yeah, it's Easter. So happy Easter. I hope you're having a hopping day. And I want to welcome one of my very favorite East Coast witches and also my professional reader. I don't trust people with readings, but I trust this one.
I wondered if you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't talk about the fact that who I read and who I don't read. It wouldn't be anything that I would ever say. Thank you very much for having me and saying that. But yeah, when you said, you're my reader, I don't let anybody read me, I laughed. I was like, I wonder if she'll say that. That's so funny. Yeah, I do.
I started out in the beginning of, first of all, this is Jenni Love, y'all. This is Jenni Love.
I know we go right into talking. Like we're just already in the middle of a conversation that started, I don't know, a million years ago. Right.
Exactly. This one right here, legit, big time legit. I started out in my path probably about when I was like active in my path. I started getting some readings here and there, and I just started not feeling comfortable about being a YouTuber and sharing so much information, energy, allowing people into my house. And then part of my practice, and then sharing that, which is another like extremely personal, intimate situation. And then people trying to read me. And that's just basically allowing somebody to go into your damn mind and like whoosh it up. So I was like, and so I started like sort of shying away from other readers. But what I love about you is that you're just like so off the damn cuff. It is just like shoot from the hip. No pretense at all. And I fucking love it. I love it.
My husband, you mentioned YouTube, and same. I started a YouTube channel, I'm going to say in like 2015, when everybody was all green about all of that. And witches trying to find other witches, and what do we do? Trying to create community, right?
Yep.
And I didn't want to use my real name. I was like, I feel like that's a weird thing, Same, like it's like privacy. And my husband calls me Love, so I attached Jenni Love. And so when I do readings, it is funny because I don't sugarcoat it. So he calls me Jenni Tough Love. He's like, oh God, Jenni Tough Love's in the building. He's like, oh my God, here she is.
And I'm a Virgo double Scorpio, and I'm all about that. As soon as somebody comes up and I can tell that they're like schmoozing me, automatically I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I'm gonna go.
Right.
And then I'm like, deuces, I'm out, because because I don't jive with that at all. Right. Life is too short to mess around. So I want somebody to be straight with me.
Right. And you're also, psychically connected. When somebody's full of shit. When somebody's full of shit. We are a radar detector. A bullshit detector, a lie detector, whatever. When somebody's full of shit. Their ulterior motives,
We do. We know it. And some of my readings with you, I think I've only had one or two with you. I'm getting ready to have a third one, which is going to be
getting ready to have the big one, the big soul's design and empowerment. I say literally, when I tell people they book this reading with me, get a helmet. Get a motherfucking helmet. Oh, I'm sorry. Can we say that?
Yes.
Okay,
fuck yeah.
Right. I never know if I'm gonna, listen, we used to take bets on Chick Chat of how fast it was before I said the F word. Like, who had 3 minutes? Who had 3 minutes? Anybody? Like, you win today. Because Jenni, sometimes it was under 30 seconds. It was like, bam, I came in just slinging them. And yeah. But I tell people, get a helmet for this reading. Get a helmet. It is not for the faint of heart. It is not for fluffy bunnies. No, not even a little bit.
I've been in therapy since September. Put myself back into therapy to try to heal from past traumas and things like that. Things that were coming out that I thought that I had dealt with. You know how this goes.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like, I'm 46. Didn't I deal with this already? Like, nope, apparently not.
Learning is a spiral.
And so there's things that we're revisiting, and I started like in customer service as all the COVID stuff was like really coming down on us. I'm a manager for an HOA, which somebody had sent me this meme that said a flock of Karens is an HOA, and I'm their manager.
Right.
Which is how I feel most days. And they're endearing and I love them. And then there's those that are just so resistant to anything that they just don't respect anybody's boundaries. This one particular person was just so awful and got me in such a way that I was triggered, and I handled it. And then when they were gone, I'm shaking. I'm shaking because I'm mad. I'm shaking because I'm anxious. And
energy.
I'm like, I gotta figure this out, because what I really want to do is hit somebody, and that's not good.
No, listen, I just left the Muggle world again. Like, now this is the second time I've left the Muggle world. I was working at a law firm, as we all know. I left in a blaze of glory, as
Did you?
John
I didn't know
my God, as John Bon Jovi says. Yes, it's
my life.
I did. I left.
Never.
Under that kind of duress, that same sort of, I'm at my end. You have made me feel like my sanity is at issue. Like, actually feel like my sanity is at issue. And I went in on a Friday. I packed the office that they just gave me, by the way, they gave it to me. And I swear it was definitely the devil putting a contract under my nose and going, here, sign this. We're going to give you a fancy office. Here you go. And I signed it. I'm like, yeah, I never had an office. Fancy. I could close my door. Energy, like the flow didn't come in the door. I was able to get things done. And I was, for like 2 glorious days, I was like an oblivious little muggle, right? Oblivious. I was like, oh, I love this, right? This is what they do. I love this. Okay.
I could put my calendar here, and I could put my little lamp there. Yeah, I know.
I did that. And I was like, okay, I could do this. I could do this for the money. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm selling my soul. I'm doing it. Right. Okay. Yeah. 2 days in, the boiler in the building broke. It's 12 degrees for like 10 days. Is that not the goddess going, get the fuck out of that office? Like, get the fuck out. You don't belong in that office.
Hell froze over, is what you're saying.
Right. Get out. So then there was crazy. The crazy is a very long story. But when I left, I sent an email to lots of folks. I did. I did that thing I did that song. Take this job and shove it. I did it. I sent an email. I ain't working here no more. I told them I would never use them on a resume. I was like, I'm embarrassed. I have a 25-year impeccable resume as a paralegal. And I threw it in the toilet working for you guys, because I just left. I packed and left. I gave no notice. I left. Like, I couldn't even, under that much stress, I left. I was yelling at a woman 3 days earlier at the copy machine. And I was like, who are you? Oh my God, you have to go. I was like, oh my God, we have to get out of here. It's like, oh my God. It's true. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And so I hear you. You put yourself right back where you needed to be, because your sanity was in question.
And I'm like, I gotta figure this stuff. Now, I have been a legal secretary before for 1, 2, 3, 4 lawyers at one time. And I don't know what it is about that type of environment, but it is really stressful.
Cutthroat.
And it is cutthroat. And then even though they had a lot of integrity as people, it was all these little white lies that just kind of kept going. And it's just like, oh, I'm late for court. Can you call County Court 7 and reschedule? And I'm like, first of all, I don't have a degree to do that, and then it's like one time my boss was like, had emergency surgery. I grabbed her docket and went to court and started I'm like, hey, you over there, you're a lawyer. Yes. Can you sign this? Like, I was getting people in the hall, like whatever I could get done. And it got to be so much that And these were the lawyers that helped me in my custody battle with my
Right.
kids. And it's like, so I felt tethered to them already. And then
Okay.
like I was faux finishing their houses. I was doing like legal secretary work to pay
That's
off
not a
my
job. That's a
everything.
internship. Like you were
I was
their
done.
slave. Yeah, you
I
were
was
their slave.
done.
Mhm.
Somebody give me a sock, damn it, and let me out. Yeah.
Now, see the pattern of that's interesting. That goes right to my reading. Like the agreement that you kept with them. That's as a past life. I'm a time traveler. That's what I have now taken to calling myself. Like I'm a time traveler. I go back in time, back to past through past lives to your soul's origin, and
Mhm.
we walk through that.
Right.
That pattern that agreement, that's to me, I see that agreement. Your agreement with them was, I'm going to just do and do and do and do for you, and you're just going to allow it. Like there's an agreement there.
Mhm.
And what you do, and like if that was in a past life, you take that forward. What's that agreement? Who's that with? You need to break that agreement.
Mhm.
That's an agreement that needs to be broken. That's a pattern that needs to be broken. I see that.
Yep. Yep.
That's the reading. That's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we do. Yeah. It's interesting to find out like where your soul's origin is. I mean, that's information. And then that's what's interesting about where you're a star seed of is it's similar to finding out you're an Aries, double Scorpio, or it's your soul's sign, like what your soul's sign was born under, basically, and what those characteristics bring to the table.
This is going to be incredible because
Yeah.
I've already been doing all this past trauma work. I've
Yes.
in 2020 kind of kept us in a forced shadow
Yes.
work mode.
Oh, that's what this is. Yeah, definitely.
And so it's like I was ready for the next step. So when I saw you advertise this and I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
like I'm not, I am a mermaid. I'm not afraid of depths by any means, by any means at all. So it's like,
So funny.
okay.
It's funny that you said it's funny that you said mermaid, only because in my Akashic records training over the years, I had a class. This class was actually pivotal in me doing this work because in my shop, I know I had to go back 3 stories. In my shop, we did a past life regression with 14 people.
Mhm.
And the woman who did it's a dear friend. I, get regressed and I see this life.
Mhm.
And I mean, I see the shoes on my feet. I'm walking down the street. I could see myself in store windows. Like it was the craziest thing. So
I love it.
we all come to, and I tell this story to 12
Mhm.
people. And then 8 months later, coincidentally, I'm at a Nakashik Records, this training class, because I take all methods, modes, trainings, attunements, Akashic Records. I'm there. I believe I learn it. Whoever's teaching it, I'm a student. And
Mhm.
I get paired up for this exercise with a woman who is neither a reader or a psychic. And she knows me and she's nervous because she's like, I don't want to be with Jenni Love. She's a psychic. I don't want to do this. And I thought,
I
I'm like,
love it.
listen, I go, it's actually, it'll prove to me that anybody can do this. Like I say this, anybody can do this. So you prove my point. So let's do this. And
Mhm.
she told me verbatim the life that I saw in my fucking head 8 months ago.
Uh-huh.
This non-psychic, non-reader doesn't do this. And she even used the phrase, you died in a shootout with the mob. And my girlfriend, who was with me in both places, almost fell down. She said, what did she just say? I go, I know. She said, I died in a shootout with the mob. She goes, isn't that what you said? I go, yes, that's what I said. I use those exact words.
I love it.
That was so that I knew the past life shit that I see is right. Like
Mhm.
that was I'm going, see, you do this. This is what
Mhm.
you do. And this is your thing. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I get that now, And so I've been developing this reading for a very long time. It's parts of things, it's different modalities I've learned. It's mostly my walk in your past life,
Wow.
down your soul's journey from inception to this pattern you need cleared. We have many patterns. We've lived many lives. When you come to me, the caveat is you're gonna go back to a life you need to go back to. There's a reason you're ready right now. You
Mhm.
know, we're not going to blow your mind the first time out, So, and I will say, I do find that first timers or like someone that's like beginning their journey, it is interesting where what their work seems to be similar energetically to people who are sort of into their journey a little bit, you know, spiritually, or then maybe somebody like you. Like I had a woman who is an Akashic Records reader recently.
Okay.
And she told me that right out of the gate. And I went, oh, here it is. You know, it was like, here's my test. And like the universe, it's like the Olympics. I was like, oh, I'm excited, you know. And so her work was like, wow, profound. And it's intense. It's not for the fucking, like how you described this chat to me. It's very similar. It can get very intense. Yep. You know, I might bring forward some shit, you know, and
you're welcome to. You're
right.
welcome.
And it's not for fluffy bunnies. And I hate that phrase, but I'm going to use it because it's perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely not for fluffy bunnies. And I actually don't like a whole lot of fluffy bunny in my life.
I don't either.
I'm just not one of those people. I mean, I can do it, but honestly, emotionally, it's exhausting. It's exhausting for me to put on this mask of, I don't know. I this is not a secret, but I'll say it again. Back when my ex-husband was in Bosnia, they stopped paying us, and I was pregnant, had to have the baby by myself, had to do all the stuff by myself, and they stopped paying us. So I started selling Mary Kay, and this baby was like either in me or in the little swing. And Mary Kay pays 50% of what you sell, you know, so you make 50%. And I'm just like, okay, it was a good cut. We got to invest it back in. But, you know, I started selling Mary Kay just to make the bills. And I sold enough to feed myself so I can breastfeed this baby, keep the lights on, and pay the rent. And that's pretty much what I did until the army caught up with us. And so my kids now will say, if I have the Mary Kay voice on, it's really my customer service is just like, hi. I usually go up in octaves. I'm not trying to do it.
I know it.
It happens, and I hate it. I hate it.
It's hard. I know it's hard.
It's hard
sometimes you reckon that's again another pattern. Like we talk about, like if I thought I would be able to do this. I thought I would be able to go to work and check my. I don't know, and I don't know what the word is. I don't know. I'll close it all up, just check it at the door, and come in and get paid, and not give a shit about your nonsense. And I'm doing work for the 8 hours. It was 5 minutes from my house. Like I could go home for lunch. The perks were crazy, like crazy. Yeah. And I couldn't do it anymore. You know, I closed the shop quite in a blaze of glory again, you know, same apocalypse crazy. I went crazy in general. It was definitely, I don't like to use the word, maybe not crazy. I definitely,
it was emotional. It was emotional time, and I could feel that coming through. And you were trying like hell to.
It was, because it wasn't money. It had not. We made more money in the apocalypse, that COVID shutdown in New York, than we did the year before. It was more things were changing, right? I predicted the apocalypse in January in the Taroscopes.
Yep.
I do the Taroscopes for the paper, and I didn't realize this until June, until Erin says to me, do you remember your Taroscopes before the apocalypse? And there was this blurb, because I picked 9 out of 12 major arcana cards. And I went, what the fuck? Just like that. And that's exactly, and I might have even tried to put that in the paper, like, what the fuck? And I said, something so humongous is coming for everybody. Like I was almost afraid to talk about it. And then in January, again, I was obsessed with getting this muggle job, like obsessed. Like my brain was like, get a muggle job. You need a muggle job. You need a muggle job. And it was almost like my body knew this shenanigans was coming. It was coming. And I knew it in my soul or whatever. And then same, when I closed the shop, this community set me over the edge. And I closed. Wow. I had no stomach for it.
Really?
I couldn't do it anymore.
Can't do it anymore.
I'm not full of shit. I can't schmooze. I don't care. I have no ability to, and like I said, you want to belong to community, and I have no ability to belong to, like, I just don't have the ability to politics. I don't care. I don't care.
I think okay, this I've heard from others. I've heard from others that have witchy shops in our community. Obviously I have a witchy shop. Obviously I'm doing stuff. But I like, okay, spell kits. Like I just did this like little write up in my spell kit thing. That's just like, look, magic is a spell work is a very personal thing. I don't write up spells for you.
Right.
I'm not going to write up spells for you. That's something that's between you, deity, and these elements in which I'm providing. So I can give you the ingredients. I'm going to give you those ingredients. That's what you're buying. I'm going to give you a nudge in the right direction.
Right.
The rest of it, your intention, your energy, and all that other stuff is what activates these ingredients. I can't do that for you.
Right.
I can go in and I can do a clearing and I can do a blessing, but you're the one that has to uphold that shit. I can't do that for you.
Right.
And what I've learned about myself and my mediumship is I can't do what you do, Jenni.
No, of course not. No, and I can't do what you do.
Well, and I've tried, and it happens to me by accident, and generally while I'm drunk. And
it's always when you don't practice it, it's always inconvenient. When you don't practice, yes, that's why it's inconvenient. When you don't acknowledge it and practice it or hone it, or I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's cultivate, maybe is the better word. If you don't cultivate it, it's going to be inconvenient. It's going to be when you're drunk, you're going to speak a lot of truths or something, and everybody else in the room's going to go, what the fuck just happened? Yeah, that's me. I know. I'm saying, because there are certain things I don't want to cultivate either. Yeah, no, I get you. I'm totally with you.
It's exhausting because all of a sudden I very much feel like Whoopi Goldberg, where it's just like, okay, I thought I was talking to this person. You over there, shut up. Oh my God, stop interrupting me. Like, it is really bad. And then they start following me around because they know that I know. And then it's it's too much. And physically, I'm not I have chronic illnesses that I battle. I've got good days and I've got bad days, and my energy goes down like woof.
I know, we should talk about all of that. We should talk about all of that off air.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an herbalist. We should talk about all of that off air. Because it's I wouldn't talk about all of that here, but mind, body, spirit, it's always the same. It's always simultaneous. It's never not simultaneous. And an herbalist is going to talk to you about that. And I don't believe that I talk to you in front of a doctor. I talk to you in conjunction with a doctor, or supportive of a doctor, or the medical profession, or whatever that is. But because they don't do that. No. That's all. They don't do that. Mm-hmm. I just had my gallbladder removed. We had this whole big long thing, but that was mind, body, spirit, all of that. Mm-hmm. So you same. You have a lot of that going on. And you got to know it all. It's all over it's all intertwined. It's all the things.
And so for that reason, I've decided I'm not strong enough. I'm not ready.
Cancel.
I don't want a medium. Okay. I don't want a medium for anybody.
That's different. You don't want to. That's different.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not that witch.
Right. That's okay. But don't say it's because you're not strong enough.
Or actually, see, we're backwards. This person right over here, that one, that's your witch right there.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is don't say it's because you're not strong enough. Don't make that the caveat. Don't say it like that. You don't want to. I don't want the dead in my head either. Like I have a very strong agreement. There's no one in my head when I don't want them in my head. I'm sorry. That's not what's happening.
Gotcha.
They're allowed in the cards when the cards are in front of me. Like any other magic, does it happen inconveniently because it happens? Of course. But, I'm pretty good at knowing what's knocking and like, all right, that's not the time for that. We're not here for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Easter Sunday. I have no time for you or whatever your shenanigans are right now, You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we'll talk about that tomorrow. We're not talking about that today. We're at Nona's house today. That's not what's happening. I mean, do you think I'd be sitting on this? I mean, look at my little background here.
I love it. I love it. You look
Well, I'm
comfy.
literally at Nona's house in the big squishy chair. I'm in Grammy's chair. It's great.
Grammy's chair. We used to have Bear's Grammy's chair. I think we still have it somewhere around, but I'm just like or maybe did we get rid of it? I don't know. But I loved that chair. I loved to sit in that chair and just kind of,
It's a
I
good
don't know.
chair.
I thought it was important for the kids to also have it, and just to come have like a little Nana hug, sit in the chair.
I do. I do. But yeah,
Nice.
you have all these things happening at the same time. That string, that's something that, I think witches don't consider sometimes. That's what we were talking about. And then we were mentioning before, we started talking about this before. That's why I tied this in before we got on. And you're a friend of yours, and this apocalypse and the changes and me closing. I mean, it's happened to everybody. Like it's all connected. Like we were given the gift of a year to sort of go inwards and do shadow work. And that is the point I was actually trying to get to was we got to shadow work. We were given the gift of shadow work. I hope people took that and did stuff with it.
Some people did, and some people did not. And now it's like catching up to them, and I'm watching them, and I'm just like, well, you didn't know? Like, like you gotta late to the party, friend. But you know what? Don't do that. It's okay. Don't do that one.
Like I said, I closed a brick and mortar. Like, shoom, just closed it. I was like, I think I announced it. I think I announced it to my business partner. I'll call, and she was pissed, and I don't blame her one fucking bit, not one iota. I think I sent her an email because we all know I went crazy. Yeah, I went crazy. No, I went crazy. Like, but it was coming. It wasn't like she didn't know. Like, I didn't spring this on her. This was a downward spiral of the most epic sort, And I emailed her, and then I did it publicly because I knew she'd talk me out of it.
Oh, okay.
So I told her that later. I go, listen, I knew you were going to be pissed. I knew I was weathering that fucking storm, but I did it because I knew you'd talk me out of it, and I'd still fucking be there if I didn't announce it publicly, and I couldn't take it back. And then I was running with it. Then it was like, but yeah, this industry, this business was a business, and I'm not interested in a business.
Not interested.
I do readings and healings because I believe that's a service.
Yeah.
Anymore. And I might sell some things because I might like to make incense bottles because I felt like it. And then I might put it on my website because I feel like it. But it is no way going to be a fucking assembly line anymore. That's not what's happening.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to pull that off. I'm like looking for more space. If I have the camera set up just right, because to the left of me there are packed boxes ready to go. To the right of me there are spell kits to be assembled and notes.
I call that shop puke.
There are more packets. I'm like, just like, oh my god.
I call that shop puke. It's all over my house.
Yes, it's everywhere.
All over my house. All over
I'm
my
like,
house.
I really want my own. Well, my goal is to have a brick and mortar, and then I'd still do my online situation, and have.
You got to be online. I think that's what's important at the moment.
Yeah. Got to be online as well. Got to be online.
I would love for you to have a brick and mortar. I would come right out there and hang out with you for opening weekend.
Yes,
I definitely would. Because listen, I love stores. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to Salem probably tomorrow. Because I need supplies. And where does Jenni Love get her supplies? She drives 3.5 hours and she goes to see her favorite Leanne Marama at Pentagram. And I go there. And then I go over to Hex and I buy my supplies for like 6 months. And then I come home but I need to go up there. That's, I think, my tomorrow trip. If it's nice out, that's what I'm going to do. But that's,
Are you with Nathan?
Say again?
Are you friends with Nathan? He's a young witch in Salem. He's friends with Lori Cabot.
I'm not sure. I go to her shop too. I love her shop. Oh my God. I'm sure I know who it is. If I saw his face, she has the most beautiful Hecate statue. I go into her shop. It's gorgeous. It's got to be 3 feet, 3 feet. It's huge. It's sitting on a antique table, like one of those antique armoires, and the triple goddess face is in a circle So you can see it in the mirror behind it. It's the most gorgeous thing I've ever. I think it was commissioned. I think it's one of a kind. It's gorgeous. Oh my God. It's gorgeous. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Like I think I needed the business part of it. I got lost in. And I am not a business person per se in that sense. I'm not, like I said, I'm not schmoozy. I'm not a joiner. And I have she laughed. And I have a hard time
giggling because it reminds me of okay, this is going to sound a little trivial and a little like, basic, but it reminds me of Pink's story coming into, like, if you've ever watched the Pink, memoirs in regards, she's like, I'm not Britney Spears. I'm not this. I'm not that.
I'm not
me. Like, and this is it. Like, there's not going to be like,
it's so funny. I had a hard time with the shop. I had a hard time with the shop. It was like, or being that person. And it was all the time. And people felt the need. I think, like I said, community. People said things to you that you cannot imagine.
Really?
Oh my God. Yes. Like they would ask you I don't know. I can't explain it. It just became like all of a sudden, whatever I did became open for opinion. Oh. And it's not like I don't have a thick skin. I just could care less about, like, it was like, it's just politics I didn't care about. You know what I mean? Politics I just did not care about. And then this one would be mad about this or mad about that. And then you'd hear about it. And it was just so exhausting. And it's like, oh, I can't stand it. I had to get out. I had to get out. I was like, I beat my head against the wall. I had I was like, bah. So I liked the online presence way better. I'm way more invested in being online and doing it this way. And TikTok also, like, that's another, the reach is amazing. Like, you talk to so many different people. That's what I like that. I like talking to people like this. Like, this is fun for me. This is perfect.
Like this kind of community, not other kind
like
of
a chat and, interest, learning stuff. Like, I got more books. If you're in my house, oh my God, I have more books and read more books about witchcraft and books I like about witchcraft, books I don't like about witchcraft. Like, it's just whatever,
Yeah.
I do have to ask. Let me ask you a question. I will ask you. I'm going to put her on the spot. do you, being that you want to open a brick and mortar, like, what's the goal? Because my son, I thought I wanted to open a brick and mortar too. I'm not trying to talk you out of it because I think my goal was wrong. Like I was talking to him about like new business, and this is how youngsters think. Like, he thinks bigger than me. I thought I wanted community, and I thought that was a store.
Right.
And it wasn't. It was a business. I had to order, toilet paper for the bathroom and bags and register tape and make sure there was change. And like, it was that shit, like, that was the shit you were just like, I don't really want to do that part of it. Like, that was the stuff that made you crazy. And then, like I said, and then your community really just, you were just like, oh, you guys are really not. Oh, I'd go, oh, that's really what happens behind the scenes of these. Oh, It's like the devil. It was like the devil tarot card. It really was. Seven of Cups. It was like Seven of Cups. It was like, oh, Jesus. I swear. So my son, like I said, he has bigger ideas. Like, his idea is not like a store. His idea is more like, you want a brand to go in all the stores.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, you think bigger than I do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's the difference. So I came back home and put up my website, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to talk to folks. I'm just going to talk to folks because I'm not a brand, and I don't want to put a brand in every store. And maybe that's the big thinking. I'm like, all right, that's maybe not me. I'm just a little Hudson Valley witch that, helps people time travel. Really, that's my thing.
But you had to go through all that just to get here.
I did.
I know that to get here.
I did.
For me, I want a brick and mortar. So one, that I have the space to do what I want to do.
Love it.
And I want it to be something that's collective, so that there are products that are not just from me, but from other local witches, because I think
I like that.
Magic is, geographically it's different. It's different energies to these things. That's why we like dirt. That's why we like all these waters and stuff. Like, this is why.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I want, there to be a Ravenflower design section, and I want to like run it and like keep it going, but I want there to be like a space that people can rent out to do drum circles, or if
Oh,
it's
yes.
something else, like if you come in with your sound bowls and you have a session there, and then there could be some offices that practitioners rent and they can
Like a
run
center. Like you want a center. I love that. Yeah, I do love that.
I want to
I love
center,
that.
and I still want to do my online stuff because I've got customers from all over the world,
Right.
and I still want to have that. And then I want to have the local thing too.
What's funny about you saying you have it? I mean, customers all over. I love that, and I love that you love the local part of it. I mean, you get that. I mean, obviously, but I do think that's what online witches miss sometimes.
Sure.
A lot. They don't understand the spirit of land. Like they don't understand the magic's different. Depending on what ground is under your feet.
It is. It
You
is.
know.
Yeah. I've had people that get my Salish sea water and sand and even the shells, and they're not realizing how power packed it is. And I'm like, understand that Whidbey Island is basically made up of what's coming up from the ocean and the volcanoes. So basically, you've got volcanic, granite and all that other stuff. So it's like, you're going to want the sand. All those little sparkly things in there is going to like, get you. It's just different. It's just different.
It's the
Totally
vibration. Like I always tell people, it's the vibration of that. I'm a sound therapist. And a Reiki master. These two things are very dear to my heart. I don't talk about them a lot in witchcraft, because I don't think a lot of witches, traditionally, I'm not going to define witchcraft. Everybody has a different definition and a different witch. I'm not, for generic purposes, I think everybody knows what I mean when I say that, but I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes about it either. But it's like, the difference in that. You know what I'm saying? You know exactly what I mean.
And there is a different kind of like an onion. You're peeling back various layers, and there's so many layers to it. And we all are on this path, and we're all experiencing those things. Sometimes it's in an order for you this way, where I might start here and go down, or somebody's coming from the left and going to the right. It's just very individual.
But that's like I said, I don't talk about that too much in that sense, because Reiki and sound, you wouldn't think, I guess maybe doesn't belong, but it does for me. I mean, it does belong, because to me, it's about vibration. So I take that thread through a lot of things. So the vibration of something that I picked up, when I'm visiting you, yes, I'm quite conscious of the fact that it has that vibration. Which just goes to show you that, I've been doing, like I was saying this morning, I teach like an online tarot on Sunday mornings. And I was saying just that, I've been doing this a very long time. I just didn't know it had names. Yeah. I had no idea that the seashells and the little vignette that I used to make in my, on my windowsill or whatever, in a candle, and because of some vacation that I went on to invoke that sort of, like, I didn't realize it was an altar. I had no idea what it was called. We all did that. I said spell jars. I've been doing spell jars since I'm fucking 5. I didn't know it was called a spell jar. I had no idea that was what its name was. Now it's a spell jar. I get it, but I don't need to argue those points with people. But I don't bring up Reiki. But that is it's a vibration. You get it.
It's a vibration.
I get that. Yeah.
I mean, and also think about it. Like, what do we do to clear energy? Or to change energy, just clapping, ringing a bell, music playing. It's vibration. It's the change of energy, and it's so important.
Yeah.
So important.
Right. I say that clapping all the time. Like, I tell people, like, especially if there's like an unwanted energy, especially.
Oh yeah.
I clap. I did that. My mother was she broke her shoulder a couple of years ago, and she went into the she's in the hospital. I was there for 4 days. And now listen, I don't let it in. I'm very good at keeping my energy mine. I came home weak. I'm tired. I came home one day. The cats were going bananas. And my husband said, "Did you bring somebody home?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm tired. I don't care." And the next morning I heard clear. And I'm not an audient psychic. not always. Like, it's just not my talent, And I heard clear as a bell, a man with like an island accent say hello like 3 times. And I sat straight up on my bed and I clapped 3 times. And I was like, you got to get I don't know where you're going. Go to the light. I don't care where you go.
Feeling
I have an hour of sleep left. Go away.
I'm feeling Dominican vibes.
Yeah, no way. I didn't hear him anymore. He was gone. It was like Caribbean sound. He just said hello 3 times. I'm like, you are clearly in the wrong place. Go somewhere else. Find somebody else. I am not the person. No.
That's a thing that I struggle with a lot. And like, I've tried to talk to my kids about this sometimes, because there are times that, I'm tired and this already is my sanctuary. This is my hub. And I don't want to go out to eat because I don't want to deal with all the different conversations that are happening in my mind. And then oftentimes when I'm meeting somebody, they're looking at me and I'm trying to keep my thought in a direct line, but then I've got all this stuff bouncing off right now, and
lion's mane mushroom
oil, and I'm out of your oil.
She went. I know. I have some for you. I actually have some for you, and I meant right before we closed the shop, I had some for you. Like, I put some aside for you, and I was like,
sending messages.
And then we closed, and I was crazed. And I didn't send it.
I was started doing something that I thought would work a little bit better. And then I went over town, and mediumship happened to me in the middle of meeting new people. And now I'm concerned because I'm a care bear and I care too much sometimes. I'm concerned. I'm like, I just met these people and now they think I'm a total freaking freak.
No,
and
that's
definitely not how I wanted my first meeting to happen. But basically this lady had an attachment to her, and it was so bad. This fucker, he was a sly, shitty piece of low level entity crap. He was awful. He was absolutely freaking awful. And this guy.
You go get over. We have to talk. First, I started this to say lion's mane mushroom because that's going to help, I think, process the thoughts better.
Okay.
Lion's mane mushroom. That's my one caveat thought process for you. And then, you went right to, it's my job to deal with this. Like, it's my job. We have to talk. I can't wait for this reading. We have to talk. It's going to be good.
It sucked bad. And so one of the ladies had an attachment to her, which had come over, had hereditary from her mom. And then that sort of stuck around, and it was posing itself as the parent to her spouse and pretending like it was their lost loved one so they could be there. It was bad.
I tell people all the time when they have an attachment and we're going to clear an attachment, and then they kind of get upset. Like, maybe it's like grandma. I'm like, listen, no, you should never have an attachment. They need to go where they need to go. They don't need to be here attached. It is not good. Visiting souls are different. It's not an attachment. It's different.
I have an altar for those visiting souls. They're totally
That's right. I have an altar for the dead. Same.
And you do not need an attachment. In fact, the only record situation I have ever had, and I can't even find this man. He was in San Antonio, and he actually severed an attachment for me and made me aware of why I was being called to the Pacific Northwest and who I was. It made so much sense. Immediately detached this nasty thing that had me thinking about suicide. Really bad. It was very intense. And in fact, I had actually killed myself in several past lives because of this thing. Really bad. And
so you know that. So you do past life work. So you know that. Like, I know when we go to do this, like, the past life is going to be quite the life because you already do this work. It's not going to be for the faint of heart. I already know that.
I did it that one time, and he released that thing, and I felt this rush of, he was sitting, probably 4 feet from me on the other side of the table. Never had this before. Didn't know. I was just starting my official witchy path. Had been witchy, but hiding in the church, not sure what I was doing.
I remember when you first came on YouTube.
Yeah. So right after that.
I do remember.
It was right before that. And I had this whoosh of rush cold air go straight through my throat. and then I felt butterflies, like the
Oh, yeah.
blue and yellow butterflies. And he's like, I see those blue and yellow butterflies. And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's legit. And he's like, look, he says, that thing has been scratching at the back of your door for some time. He says, you have to believe that when you get those thoughts, you're like, nope, that's what that is. Those
Yeah.
thoughts is
Yeah.
what that is. And
Yeah.
it's trying to scratch and come back in. So I have kept it at bay this entire time. And then dealing with that last entity that I dealt with over town, by total fluke, brought back some of those things. And I was just like, motherfucker, get away from me. Get away from me. Like, absolutely get away from me.
Sometimes these things aren't one and done. I tell people that too when we're doing, because at the end of the design and empowerment reading, a soul's design and empowerment reading, we do a cleansing at the end. There is a cleansing, and whatever the work is, if it's, negative spirit guide or attachment or even thought forms or whatever, like you do a clearing at the end. Like there is a big clearing. Then you get homework.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody gets homework. I'm not even gonna tell you because everybody gets homework, and it's so funny. Everybody laughs at me because they're like, "Man, we can't do reading with Jenni Love. She gives us fucking homework." I'm like, "I do. I really do. I give homework. It's so bad.
No, I'm all about
bad." And I do an hour worth of work before I ever even see you. Like there's an hour of soul work before I even get to you. I have to make sure I can get to your soul. I have to make sure there's nothing going on with it. I get the juice of what's happening with it. I get a sort of a snapshot. And the beginning of that, I won't have to do that again, and again, like that's the first one. So it's a snapshot. Like we did this a year from now, like I need to tune up or, what's the new thing I need to clear or whatever that is. I don't need to do the beginning soul work again. We've done that. But there's that initial sort of little tune up. It's a lot. It's an hour, and then we meet for an hour. It's a big long thing. And then there's a big clearing, and people call me a week later. They're like, I feel like a new person. And I'm like, I bet. It's like, I bet.
Yeah. See, this is why it's like, I know I have these powers.
I know you do.
I don't want to do these things. I'm like, I don't want it. I'm not that witch. I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it.
It doesn't matter what you want.
It exhausts the holy crap out of me. Like I am down, and I'm just
going to tell you something. I'm going to laugh at you. When the goddess wants you to do something, she's going to wreck the rest of your life if you don't answer it. You know it. Yes, right?
Oh, trust me. I've had a talk with the Morgan in my yard before, and I'm just like, nope, not today, bitch. No, you are stay over there. Look, I have been through it, and I've heard what my other friends said that work with you, and I am tired. I'm not doing it. I need
what?
Please come forward.
I just said the same thing. I'm tired. There's too much. There's too much. I'm like, what? Something has to go. And do you want to know what left? My shop and the job.
Oh boy.
I asked the same question. The goddess went, you have no time? Oh, you have no time for me? Job, shop left me within 6-8 months of one another.
Talk to me about goddess. I want to run this past you because I feel that it's all the same thing. And especially having been a Christian before, it's like I remember that praise and worship, and I was feeling something, and nobody can tell me I wasn't feeling something real.
Of course.
In that happened. So I feel like these gods and goddesses come to us in packages in which we can relate to them, but it's really all the same thing, and we're tapping into different energies. In some of my research in Sekhmet, I have found that there is a link to Hecate with Sekhmet, and I have a feeling that it's really the same thing.
Yeah, we do that all the time. Those of us that love that make those connections in our brains or love the evolution of something. Like I love the evolution of tarot. I love the evolution of it. I love looking at old tarot cards. Like that evolution is same with goddesses. Watch a goddess travel across the globe. Watch where she started. Watch where she moves to. Watch how she goes around here. And then you go, oh, I see. You're just wrapped in a different package for these people in the north.
Yes.
That's all. Do I think that? Yes.
Yes.
Do I, though, think that their thought forms and goddesses, yes. It's been millennia that people have invested energy into the Morrigan. The Morrigan has legs. Of course she does. Of course she does. Like, yes, it's all the roads. It doesn't matter how many roads take you to the North Pole. There's, or whatever. There's a bunch of different roads that get you all the same goddamn place, right? So, and they knock on your door in different ways. I tell people this all the time. I listen, I know people have very profound, crazy, Poseidon shows up with his, trident and slams it on the ground and says, "You are my," or whatever that is. We want you. What does Good Sam say? We want you.
We want you.
Mine is more like subtle. It's like these subtle little, all of a sudden there's a thing, and then maybe there's another thing, and then there's another thing, and then you kind of go, oh, huh. Then you start reading, and you go, oh, let me read about that, and then you read, and you read, and you read, and you read, and then all of a sudden you realize, here's what you realize, that god or goddess has been there your entire life.
Your entire life. That's how I felt with Bast. And when I was doing all this work with Bridget while I was building my garden, that's when the Morgans come and knocking at my garden gate. And I'm like, didn't really even understand that the Morgan and Bridget are also tied, big time. And,
right. And I think at different times you need different roads.
Yep.
And I'm not eclectic. I will say that. I'm not eclectic. I'm not. People like to say bad things about eclectic. I don't say bad things about eclectic. I'm just not. I definitely think that my folk magic is based in Italy because my mother wasn't even born in this country. That's stuff that we've been doing anyway. I can't even call that magic. That's just.
You're Strega, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I say crazy Italian stuff. I always say that because that's just crazy Italian stuff. That's just stuff. Like then you go read it in books and go, oh, you call that what? Oh, yeah, that's just, Nona stuff or whatever, or my aunt stuff. Like you're like, oh, and so that's definitely where my folk stuff or my your everyday stuff. And then I feel like my maybe pomp and circumstance or very ritual, formal is more in the Celtic northern world. Yeah. That's what I think. But that's just me. I think people also evolve. I think they change. You might be over here and then you've learned that this is where my power there. And you just, I like it. I think that if it speaks to you and you like it and you follow that, you go to school for it, I like it. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Well,
you tell my people all the things that you're certified in, because it is a bit, to me, it's overwhelming and it's just like a hashtag
it's not goal. A lot.
Like one day.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot. No, it's not a lot. I am a Reiki master. I have been practicing, I'm a Reiki master. I have been practicing it for 10 years and I don't teach it. I can teach it. I don't teach it. It's not for any other reason because I feel Reiki has to be in person. I don't know. Maybe I'm a snob. I don't know. That's just my belief. I don't want to do. I want you here. It's going to take us 3 months. There's going to be an internship. It's not. That's just me. Again, that was so. And like I said, I practice it consistently for 10 years. A lot. I used to have people walk in my shop all the time, be like, "Yeah, I'm Reiki certified. Can you teach me Reiki?" And I'm like, "Right." They learned nothing. They know not. These are the people we're turning out in the world, and it just sends me over the edge sometimes. I'm just like, really, I don't understand that.
Are you looking at the chat at all? Are you looking at the chat right now, or no?
No. Oh, I don't have the chat.
Watch this. Okay. Noah Tempestari says,
Jenni loves a certified spiritual gangster.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Thank you, Noah. She's a spiritual gangster. She's got a big mouth, that's for sure. I am a sound therapist. So what does that mean? So I use sound and vibrations to heal. It's similar to Reiki. I just actually use tuning forks and crystals and different kinds of singing bowls, crystal singing bowls, metal singing bowls. And that's sound, we use sound for that. And I'm an herbalist.
Yeah.
I do herbal work. I've been doing that a long time. And
I know you. I have a crush. Well, I mean, I guess a spiritual crush, a connective energy crush on Susan Weed. And
everybody does.
You met Susan. I love her so much.
Listen, in my internship, the internship that I took, it was an herbal apprenticeship. She came for the day, Susan Weed. Let me tell you. Okay, first of all, we were all petrified. No question. We were petrified. Susan Weed is coming. I'm like, fuck. Because listen, she makes me seem like a timid creature. Like,
it's like meeting your Stevie Nicks herbal equivalent.
She is. I did.
She is.
And she was that way.
Mm-hmm.
But she was lovely. She listen, none of that happened. Like one time she was like, we kept saying guys, like, hey guys, like we would say, listen, there's 20 women in the room. And at one point she did say to one of us, we are ladies, we are women, like we're not guys. Like she was very specific about that, like women. And I was like, oh, that's right. Susan Weed just told me. Yeah, that's right. And I was like, okay. And then later I remember saying this very vividly. We were talking about herbs and certain herbs to take for certain ailments. Mm-hmm. And I said, like to take a certain regimen. Mm-hmm. She looked me right in the eyeball. She was like, we do not take herbs. They are not drugs. I was like, whoa. And she was like, we use them and we utilize them and like incorporate them. And I was like, that's right, we do. I was like, yes, Susan Weed. Yes, ma'am. Like, I was like, that's right. And it was the best. We sung songs for the day. We foraged and made this beautiful salad. It's a day I'll never forget. Like, it was like, I loved her so much. Yeah, I loved her. She was a plethora of information that you said things and she just spoke wisdom. And I was just like, I'll never have that much knowledge in my head ever. It was amazing. That's why I take every herbal class I could take.
Well, I'm going back to Eugene, Oregon this next 2 weeks, mid-month. And I looked and I'm like, we're going here, but Mountain Rose Herbs is 4 blocks that way. So I'm going to Mountain Rose Herbs. I'm going.
There's no way I could walk into Mountain Rose Herbs and not be bankrupt before I left. There's no way.
I know.
No way. There's no way.
I've saved a penny and I'm going. I'm going.
No way. That's the kind of shit that gets me going. Yep.
I'm so excited.
Kind of shit that gets me going.
If I need to pick anything up for you.
I will. It's a good idea. I'm going to tell you.
Hey, I'm going, y'all. I'm going.
I love it.
Are you open to any questions?
I am. I'm open to questions.
Okay, peeps. If you have questions for myself or the Jenni Love, then please put them in bold in the chat so that I can see them quickly and easily. And let's see, we are almost at an hour. How are you doing on time? You doing okay?
I'm good.
You're at family's house. You're dealing with Easters.
Yeah, there's Easter people out there. That's okay. I'll be here for the food.
How does that, I mean, until we get a question, how does that work for you? And I mean, you say that you're not eclectic.
I'm not eclectic. My mother, the Italians, it's again, folk Italian heritage is my jam. So Easter is a very big deal. I'm going to celebrate. I think Jesus is super cool. If I tell you who I think Jesus was and what he did in the world, people get really mad about that. So I don't want to tell them that.
What did you say?
I said, I don't want to tell people who I think Jesus was. They get very angry about that. I don't want to tell them on this day. I'm not going to call him Zombie Jesus. Not once today. Nope.
Okay, that's the third time I've heard it from you.
Listen, I think Jesus was a Reiki master. I think he was a witch and a Reiki master. There, I said it.
Okay, here's a question for you. He might have been.
That's what I think. What's my favorite season? Oh, the fall.
The fall.
Yeah, autumn is my favorite season.
Look, and he's got one after the other. What is this? And then what is your favorite type of weather?
I'm a storm witch. I am a card carrying storm witch. If there is high winds, high rain, high thunder, high lightning, high intense anything, I want to be outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be outside in it, and preferably on the beach.
Yeah.
If that's what's happening. Yeah. Definitely.
I was just made aware of the fact that, well, I mean, I love the storms. I do that. And
Me
there
too.
was, after I had my yucky entity situation, super high winds the next morning. So my allergies were going off. But I'm just like, this is a perfect time. And I stripped and I went out in the wind in my yard and I just let the wind cleanse me. And it was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. But boy, I love me some
Yeah,
seasons.
I'm a big, like, I go out and meditate outside every day. Doesn't matter the weather.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yeah.
not a meditative person. Like people talk about, I'm not the Dalai Lama. I am not this person that fucking meditates for hours at a goddamn time. I'm not, but listen, if you're going to be a witch and you want to do magic, you got to alter your consciousness. That's rule number one.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't, I don't think people realize that. I don't know if when beginner witches on the internet, TikTok, Instagram,
Oh, we're gonna
phone
go here.
witches. I
I was
call
hoping
them,
you'd
you
go
heard, knew
here.
I was going to say the word phone witches. They don't know that.
No, they
They
don't.
don't understand that. And they think that they bought that candle and they bought that incense or they bought that thing and they don't understand the altered consciousness that has to happen. They don't
Mhm.
understand that.
They don't get it. They don't get it.
And I want them to get it. So I try.
I know. I know. I want them to get it too. I want them to get it too. I have gotten to a point where, I refer to some of these people as assholes. They ask you a ton of questions and then they're just like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go do this over here. And I'm like, what the
I used to call that rapid fire. They bark rapid fire questions at you. They just bark. They're not listening to you. They're not actually absorbing any information. And if any information they could have looked up themselves, I don't answer those questions.
don't answer those questions. And also okay, so people have come for me a little bit on my sales. They're like, well, what is this used for? And what is that used for? It's like, I'm going to give you the basic overall thing. But the truth of the matter is something that I learned real quick is that roses could be used for this. And then somebody's going to use them for this. And somebody's going to use them for that. And then there's also going to be this. And there's also going to be this. And it's just like, what is the rose saying to you?
Right.
Turn on that switch and do the freaking research yourself, because me telling you and hand holding you the entire time and wiping your ass is not going to get you closer to your magic. I'm going to do my magic, which means it's not going to work for you.
Right. So, and if I teach it to you, like if you don't learn the basics, because listen, everybody, the basics are the same. Every fucking book you pick up. If you pick up a basic witchcraft book, everybody is preaching the same fucking sermon. Everybody. So if you understand the basics, kids, basics, like the basics in tarot, air, earth, fire, water, 4 suits, 22 major arcana cards. Air, earth, fire, water. Air is your thoughts. Swords are, so if you understand the basics, doesn't matter what fuck of deck of cards you just picked up. Same with magical systems. The basics. I mean, and that's why things come up the same or similar. There's similar practices because it works and it's basic. Well, how you take that and what the systems are culturally, that's different. Like the systems as they come up, how they came up. And that's what people are talking about. We're going to say the culture. That's what people are talking about when they're talking about culture appropriation. Like you don't understand what went into that magic. How dare you walk around now and teach it? You don't even know what went into it. That's the problem. But the basics, I'm talking about basics. I'm talking about, elements, flowers outside,
colors.
The basics. That's all that's in all things. Universal. That's why it's called it's universal. Those energies are universal. Same. We might call them something different. I didn't know all the crap my family did was witchcraft. I had no idea. I didn't know what that was. That little chant we would drop something and my mother would say, something fell on the floor. There was a something you said when the something fell on the floor. I had no idea that was it. People would look at me and go, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's a thing we do. I don't know. It's a thing. Don't you do that thing? Then you read it in a book years later and go, oh, that's the thing.
Oh, that's the thing. It's the same thing when you in the Hispanic culture, you got to rub the baby's feet. You got to rub the baby's feet. You got to smell the baby head. You got to, I mean, there's certain things that, that we're doing, we're not even realizing we're doing.
Right.
Or you say, oh, I like that blouse that you're wearing or that, or whatever. And you got to touch it because you don't want to give them, there's so many
Yes. Oh, I know
little
what you're talking.
things.
Yeah, we do that. There's an Italian thing too. Same thing. There's a
Yeah.
like if you say, you'll hear them. Oh, I'm gonna forget the phrase now. There's a phrasing. I know what you're saying. Yeah, Italians do the same thing. It's funny. It's a funny thing. The little magics, the little, and look, we used to call that. I'm gonna also say a thing. Used to call that low magic. Well, that's just racist bullshit.
Oh, wow.
Right. That's all that is. That's elitist racist bullshit to call it low magic. Because that's really that's what that is. That's the magic of the poor. That's what they called it. It's low magic. That's what those peasants practice.
But isn't it funny that those peasants got it on lock? Because
right. But it's also true of high magic. I mean, when you call it high magic, it's the same thing. It was the white folks' magic. Listen, this is just what it is. And it's the elite. That's what they practice it because they were rich and they could. And that was the difference. That's why they got called. Now it's watered down. It's a little bit different. It's pomp and circumstance. Like I think people say that about, but that's where it came from. I just try not to say that. I try to say that it's my cultural magic or my folk or my mom's or the family magic, something like that. Ancestral, generational, universal.
I was talking with G yesterday. I don't know if you got to see any of that, but he is from Chile and he made the distinction, which I thought was really, food for thought. I've been thinking a lot in the last 24 hours in regards to what he has said, is that us Americans are really hung up on this ancestry situation. He's just like, okay, and for me, cultural appropriation, like, I don't want actors that are white putting on brown makeup to be Arab for Aladdin. Like I don't want that. That's bullshit. And somebody needs to fix that. However, myancestry.com reads like the colors of the rainbow because I am just damn near everything. And I'm tied with Puerto Rican, which goes back to Spain, and then also Africa, and then all this other stuff. So it's just like I'm all over there, and I enjoy tapping into that type of research to also maybe activate what's in my DNA.
Oh, I tell people that all the time. I'm like, you should do that. I think it's interesting. That is magic you have. Like, I'm very, very bloodline close to my Sicilian heritage. I am first generation here. It's not broken a lot, that system. The Irish, I'm not that far off the boat there either, that magic too. And that goes, I do that as well. I love researching both those things. And I do feel like that is what speaks to me. No, certain other magic doesn't speak to me. Does that have to do with my DNA? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I do think that sometimes. I don't know. I'm not an expert in it. I'm not an expert in anything. But it is it's an interesting thought to me. Like I do think that. Like that's interesting to me. Maybe that is, But then like I watch these guys, people that don't have any connection to a certain system, right? They don't have any connection to a certain magical system. Like what I mean connection. What seemingly would be like a blood whatever or brought up that way. And listen, it speaks to them. They get, they're in it for 25. I know people in a certain system for 25 years. You wouldn't think that people convert to Judaism all the time or Catholicism. Same, same thing. It speaks to you. You immersed yourself in it. God's bless you. Have at it. God's bless you. God's bless you. I don't have that much invested in that fight. So,
Yeah, I've watched some witches on TikTok, on YouTube, Instagram, really
TikTok's
come after
insane.
them. Yeah, well, yeah, TikTok is insane.
You gotta have a really thick skin for TikTok.
Yeah, I don't think I have that skin. I don't think I have that skin. I get in there and I watch like the silly stuff, and the cat videos. It just makes me laugh.
Oh my
No
God.
one seems to be this one girl that giggles all the time because she's watching something in the comments, and her laugh makes me so happy. I can be in the worst mood, and just the fact that he sent
Yep.
me like a little video, and I can hear her, and I like sometimes I replay it because her laugh is just so infectious, and
I
that's
laugh. I think there's some funny motherfuckers on TikTok. Like,
there
God,
are.
it makes
And
me
then there's
laugh.
people that are
I
trying
will.
way too hard, and they
What?
just need to like put the camera down.
I'll send them to Keith all day long, my Mr. Rogue Witch. I
Yeah.
send TikToks to him all day, and I'm just like, I'm dead. Send help. I'm dead. I'm on the floor, dead. I can't. I wish I was half as funny as some of these fucking people, but it's cutthroat on there. Like, what was the last? I'm going to tell you what the last controversy was. Speaking of controversies, it was that.
Alan, it's Alan.
Oh, Alan! Oh my God!
Alan.
All right, so
oh my
Alan,
God. You guys are not following
Alan
on TikTok. You got to follow her. I mean, it's so funny. I wake up, I'm like, what's going to happen with Alan today?
Well, I had another Alan. There was Alan, and then there was somebody out right after Alan. These two men that were going to explain misogyny to me. That was super fun. The one guy I didn't even respond to. I just kept posting his comment, and I wouldn't say anything. And then he kept arguing with me about it. I'm like, I'm not actually arguing with you. I just keep posting your comment. Like, and it kept infuriating. I'm like, but I'm just spitting your words back at you. I can't imagine why that's so upsetting to you. Like, it was really funny. It was really funny. Yeah, but the last controversy was you couldn't tarot, like the tarot. You needed to be of a certain descent, of some ethnic descent. You could not read tarot. And I was like, I never heard of such a thing ever. I think at this point it's public domain. Like, at this point, I feel like cardomancy and the reading of tarot card, divining using images is a general practice. And you heard it nowhere else. It was just like I said, some things get on TikTok and they get a mind of their own. And I just ignored it. I didn't, obviously I'm never throwing my hat in that ring. And I just watched it go by, and it's gone already. Like, it came and left as fast as it, and I'm just like, oh my God. But Alan too, he left. He just wanted to explain misogyny to me, and I'm all for it. I quit the law firm. I got nothing but time, right? You want to come at me? I got a lot of stamina for you, Alan. I got a lot of stamina. Let's do it.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite because it's usually an up close of your face, and it usually is just like, hello, little chickens. I'm here in the big squishy bed.
Yes.
And I'm going to talk about it. Let me tell you.
I had a Karen once. I did have a Karen once, and that one was really funny because that one's in the big squishy bed with Mr. Rogue Witch, and I'm talking to him, and I'm just like, Karen's back. Because she just kept talking and talking and talking and talking. And I was like, why is she still talking? I don't know why she's still talking.
She really wants to be heard. Nobody else is listening. No one else.
It's so funny. I'm just having a good time. That's really all. That's why I haven't talked to you in a year. We talked in the beginning of the apocalypse.
Yep.
And I figured that out. I'm like, we haven't talked in a year. I love that. It was my show. It was our chick chat. We came on your thing. You had a thing.
We had it was our second 24-hour chat, and already people are like, "When are you doing the next 24-hour chat?" I'm like, "Look, there's been like 2 years between each chat.
Yeah.
No one and I are getting older." And
don't talk to me about old. Who are you talking to me about old? I just turned 51. Biatch.
You try a 24-hour chat around the world. It is
wouldn't even
rough.
try it.
You've done it twice.
No, I wouldn't even do it.
I wouldn't even do it. Exhausting, and you're so tired when you get off.
I bet
you can't sleep. You're so tired. You can't sleep. You have to take days off. It took me about a week to recover the first one.
I bet.
And then the second one, we altered our start time, which at Noah's suggestion, which was like the best thing, because I'm like, thank God he thought about this, because I was like ready to go in. And sure enough, it made it easier this time around. So yeah, we're plotting and planning when we do it again. But
awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah. So you and Evie Hart were there with us. And I want to say who else was in this too. I can't remember.
Somebody else was in there and I forget. She was another witch from somewhere else. I don't remember where she was from. It was all of us.
East Coast. So you were talking to Madame Luna.
Yeah. It was Madame Luna. You are right. It was East Coast. We were talking to Madame Luna.
Funny as fuck.
She was so fun.
TikTok, Madame Luna. You need to look.
She's on TikTok. I didn't know. I have to look her up.
So funny.
I bet I follow her already. If she's funny, I follow her.
She is so funny. She is comic relief. And that's what I do TikTok for in this pandemic, honestly. That's
what I do TikTok for. Listen, that's why I don't get involved in any controversy. Not because I don't have a backbone. I think that there's
it's big.
Like, listen, some people want to say you don't have, like, you have a platform, you should have a mouth and use it. And that's not untrue. And I don't dispute that fact. And you don't know me and you see a minute TikTok. You have no idea who I am in fucking real life. So everybody sell the fuck down. You know, you don't know after an hour and 15 minutes of this either. So, you know, but I do think if you have a platform, you are supposed to do, you know, you should. My platform on TikTok is for fun. It is. It's my fun. It makes me laugh. People are so funny. There are kids on there that are hysterical that I watch obsessively. Yeah. My son will come in and go, all right, I'm like, Joey, have you seen this fucking kid? You could do this all day long. I tell him all day, this kid's so funny. You could do this. And Stregonino's like, I am not going to do that, Mom. Oh, you want to hear here's my, I'm going to pat myself on the back. And I pat myself on the back for a minute. This is the best thing in a year of, now I haven't been on TikTok in a year. 6 months of being on TikTok. This is the best thing that ever happened to me. My son was at a party, teenage party.
Yeah.
He's staying over. He's not coming home. And I get a text that everybody is watching my TikTok at this party. And I went, I'm not sure if that's a good idea, Joey. Like, what do you mean? All I'm picturing is parents.
Yeah.
Because listen, you don't want real life people on your fucking TikTok. Like I don't want the PTA on my fucking TikTok, right? Oh my God. And he goes, no, he goes, I had all these girls here talking about all the followers they have on TikTok. And I knew that you had more fucking followers than them. He pulled me out like, bam, my mother has more followers than any of you guys combined. And he was right. And I was like, he used me as clout.
I love it. Okay, my kid did the exact same thing. So I've got a kid that's in transitioning right now, right? Yes. So Bear and we're Mama and Papa Bear. So we do the hugging. We're hug at Pride. We're hug parents. You know, you just love all these babies that just need hugs. You know, right? We're there. So so Ridley is just like over there pouring their heart out in some sort of stuff. And they were talking about some sort of witchcraft, something, whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, you know, and then somebody sends a link. You really need to follow this person because they, you know, you're really going to identify with them. And they're like, this is my mom. Like, this is my mom. Like, I'm like in the other room. I can hear her right now.
There she is. Yeah. Yeah. I have this many followers. My son was like, you have how many? None of you. Add all your followers together and y'all don't have as many followers as my mother. And I was like, oh my God. So I was like, okay, that was my crowning achievement on TikTok. That's my crowning achievement is my son thought I was cool because I have more followers than his friends.
I think that's awesome. I
have no followers. PS, by the way, like when it comes to TikTok, I have zero. I mean, really, I am such small potatoes in the TikTok world or the social media world, and I could give a shit. It's not what I'm about. I don't really care.
Me too. Me too.
Right? I
Me
don't
too.
care.
Me too. Noah had convinced me. He's like, you got to get it. You got to do a TikTok. And I was like over here, like in my brain, like way too much. And I'm like, okay, funny stuff. How am I going to do this? How do I make this content? And it's hard. It's not easy. Some of this editing that they're doing, I'm just like, I am working full time
Right.
and have a part-time shop and doing YouTube. I'm like, I don't have
I told you what's going to happen. The goddess is going to take something away from you, and you're going to have plenty of fucking time. Stop saying that.
I know. So I go and I make this thing because Noah is like, you're gonna figure it out. And then Bear had punked me. He had punked me with this. He got this thing from the butcher that said human flesh. And he put it on a pork tenderloin, and he had like taken it off the package. He had just made this meal, thinking that I was going to see it in the freezer, and I didn't see it. And so he puts it kind of like where I can find it, but he made amazing pork tenderloin as like potatoes and carrots and apples and
sounds delish.
It's amazing. It's really good. So I'm like, oh, really good meal. And then I go in there and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? And I'm just so I make this TikTok about it. I go viral. Noah's like, you're at 100,000 views right now. I said, shut up.
It's crazy.
And then it goes way beyond that. I'm just like, so Amber, my 21-year-old, was just like, you're too old for TikTok. I can't even believe that you're on. It's sad. So then my next TikTok is her. And I'm just like, so I'm famous. I'm like, how does that feel for you? And she's like, get out of my face.
Get out of my face. I know. It's true. It's so funny. I was like, I ran down the stairs. I think the first 100 people I had, and I ran down the stairs yelling to my son. I'm like, Stragonino, I'm TikTok famous. And he's just like, oh my fucking God, why are you on TikTok?
Why are you on TikTok? Get off.
And then things start happening. Like, people start paying attention. And then he's like, Then he starts talking to me about merch. We need merch. Oh, we need merch, huh, Joey? We need merch. Okay.
I wear that merch. I would wear that merch.
I have something in the works for merch, by the way. I do.
All right.
It's coming.
Well, I've got a bunch of people over here like, where's our merch? I'm planning the Whidbey Island meet and greet here, and I'm
coming out there. I swear to God, I'm coming out there.
Well, fall. I live on the island that Practical Magic was filmed, right?
I do.
So we're doing meet and greet at Sally Owen's shop.
When?
It's probably the last, either one of the last 2 weekends in September or beginning of October is when we're doing it.
Oh, I have a thing. Don't make it September. Make it October. I'm coming. I have a thing in September. Yeah, I have a women's retreat in the last weekend of September. I was supposed to teach at it, and because I closed the shop and lost my sanity for a bit, I backed out, and I'm still going. But I said, if I can't say no now, yes now, then I shouldn't say yes. Like, my brain wasn't in it when she planned it. So, but but I'm going anyway because it's going to be amazing, and B, I want to be supportive. And so that's I think the last weekend in September. You got to make it October. I'm coming. I'm telling you, I'm coming. I have an RV. I'm just driving out there.
First weekend of October, you're thinking? First weekend of October?
I'll drive out there.
Yeah. So we're trying to get the details in regards to there's a big, huge park that's when Sally Owens is got to go back home because Jillian is being possessed by the whatever. You see her going up this hill. That hill doesn't go to no damn house because that house was actually.
It's not there. Yeah, it was taken down. I remember Barbara Streisand wanted to buy it, and then she didn't realize it was a shell.
It was a shell. Shell. So that's actually her going up to the park. So we're going to have this park situation. We're waiting for the park people to get back to us. But my good friend Tessa, who is a belly dancer here and part of the shimmy mob, which I'm volunteering for. I'm not going to shimmy. This is the extent of my shimmy, but really I'm adminning for her as much as I possibly can for her. Anyhow, she's going to teach the witches dance. The one with the broom.
I do know. Oh, that's exciting.
I'm going to teach that. And then we're probably going to have besom making with driftwood pieces. You can make smaller, large ones or whatever. We're going to be shopping on Front Street, which is that whole Practical Magic strip.
I'm coming.
Can
I bring my RV? All I want to know is, can I bring my RV?
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Yeah. I'm coming.
I'm coming. You're not going to get rid of me. I'm coming. I'm coming for that.
I'll find stuff. Then there is another meet and greet that's happening in New Orleans. And that's in 2023. Okay, this gets better. So the Saturday we have the meet and greet, and then Sunday there's a bunch of us going out of New Orleans on a witchy cruise 2.0, which is happening. So
I've gone to New Orleans 2 years in a row on a big witches fest. I went to Hex Fest 2 years in a row, and it's New Orleans is like a city like no other for witches. If you've never been there, man, you gotta go.
You gotta go.
It's fucking crazy. It's crazy.
That's
I'm definitely coming. I'm coming to that. I love that.
All right, I will invite you. There are no details.
Yeah, definitely.
Fun.
All right.
All right, we have talked. Let's see. We've got no more questions in the chat, so I can leave you so you can go be with your family.
Yeah.
You can,
go have some chicken cutlets.
Go have those chicken cutlets. I think
nobody makes chicken cutlets like my mother, so I'm gonna go have them.
You go have them. I'm going to send you a link to my TikTok, and there's
I have. Send me a link to your TikTok and Madame Luna's TikTok, because I love it. And would you mind if I just said something?
Please.
If anybody, we're doing this thing on my website. It's our witchy hangout. It's a monthly hangout. We play past life bingo. The first past life bingo is going to be April 15th, 2021. And the only thing you need to do is buy one bingo card. You can't buy more than one. I mean, you could. I couldn't figure out how to set it to not allow you to buy more than one. So it's like, please just buy more than one. Only buy one. Because I only have a limited amount of spaces in Zoom. You know what I mean? You only have so many spaces to allow people to play. I mean, I have 100 spaces. So, yeah. So, but it's while I'm giving one card messages, you're calling them off on your cards. So the buying of the card is your unique bingo card that you will always use. It's once a month. We're going to play bingo. It's like our witchy hangout. It's like $2 for the card or something like that. But it gives me, you're able to sort of sign into my site, and then I'm able every month to send you the link for the Zoom and the night we're going to play. And, it's just our hangout. There's lots of prizes. I have lots of shop puke, puke from the shop that I still have. And that's what it's called, shop puke. So other people are donating readings and stuff. So, it'll just be fun. Like, you win every time a bingo game, somebody wins, they'll win a past life reading, a mini past life reading, a mini, reading or whatever.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay. If I put your website in the description bar, they'll get everything that they need.
Yeah. Just go to my website.
Okay. All right.
Excellent. All right. Well, I love to talk to you. Thank you for inviting me. This was super fun.
I love talking to you too. One day it's gonna be a great big huge hug. You're gonna have to sign me off with
I'm coming for October. I'm bringing my fucking RV, and the rogues will go on the road, and we will come out there.
Yeah, please.
It'll be fun.
That'll be awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. And thank you for coming on, and thank you for being my guest, and thank you for being my friend, and thank you for being my reader.
And I'm going to send you the oil. We're going to talk about you. I'm going to talk to you this week. I'm going to send you an email for your thing. We got things. I'll talk to you.
I'm getting a big reading, y'all. Big one. All right, you guys. Bye and happy Easters.
Thank you. Happy Easter. Okay.
Easter.
Bye, guys.